hope I don't get phone calls.
Okay, we are live, Greg.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the August 20th, 2020 board meeting of the Menifee County School District. First item of business is going to be the roll call. Board Member Cooper.
Here.
Board Member Evans.
Here.
Board Member Manis.
Here.
I am here, and April Smith is unable to be with us this evening. Next item of business is adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move that we adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion. Student recognition and staff recognitions.
I would like to recognize, of course, just all staff members, custodians, bus drivers, teachers, administrators, just everyone involved in getting preparation for the upcoming school year. Really would like to, our custodial and maintenance staff has been really working hard trying to make sure that the buildings are sanitized and that they are ready to go back for our staff members, and also when we're able to go back to in-school sessions. So would like to thank all of them, you know, too numerous to mention, but everyone's been doing a really good job, and we're just so appreciative of the work that they've been doing. They went above and beyond the call of duty, and everyone is making sure that the kids' interest is at heart. So thanks to all of our staff members, thanks to the community, thanks to our parents, really been moving in a very positive direction. So thanks everyone for making the beginning of this year as successful as we possibly can due to the pandemic that we're currently going through.
Thank you. Next item of business is treasurer report, munis balance sheet.
All right, if you look at your munis balance sheet here, let me make this bigger. You can see for the general fund, we ended July with $1.2 million in it. The special revenue fund was a negative $17,000. We're still waiting on some money from 21st Century. District activity fund has $46,000. Student activity, $48,000. Capital outlay, $45,000. Building fund, $283,000. Construction fund, $10,900,000. Debt service is a negative $134,000 because payments will come in periodically throughout the year from the state for that. And food service, $185,000.
I move we approve the munis balance sheet.
Do I have a second?
Second. I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the munis balance sheet signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Monthly financial report.
All right, if you look through here and we go down to page 4, which is usually where our totals are, you'll see that total revenue for month to date is 1.4 million, or almost 1.5. This time last year was 2 million. And our expenditures budgeted, we spent 1.1 million. This time last year is 1.7 million. And if you look at our contingency there, that's 430,000, which is, what was that, 3.8% contingency right now?
Are you asking?
No, I'm telling you, it's about 3.8.
The way you said that, it sounded like you.
I thought Mr. Spencer was going to respond to me.
Okay.
We figured it, I think it was 3.83%.
That is correct. And you got to remember, we've had a lot of expenses at the high school getting the office there, and you know, that's a low ball. That's very conservative. And you know, of course, we ended this past year at 1.1 million, and once again, that's a very conservative figure.
Any
Move we
questions?
approve the monthly financial report.
All, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Bank reconciliation.
Okay, if you look at your bank reconciliation, you'll note there's no adjustments up at the top for the balance sheet. We ended the reconciled balance at the end of July is $12,683,987.59. We're really, as you can see, the majority of that, it's almost 11 million in the construction account. So our actual reconciled balance in the general fund without construction is the 1.785 right there.
Move we approve the bank rec.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All
Julia,
those,
do you have a question, Julia?
I was just going to ask, are we doing anything different with the student? Now I forgot the name of it. The student
School
activities
PLP?
fund or
Oh.
anything like that because of
The
being
student,
in TI for such a long time
the
from
student
last year and this year?
Not right now. The principals are really not looking at doing anything. Those are kind of stagnant right now, Julia.
Mhm.
We do want our students to be involved in the expenditure of those student accounts. So
Right.
hopefully once we get back in session that, they'll have, we'll move forward with club sponsors and principals working to, to meet the needs of those kids. But as of
Okay.
right now, they're on hold right now.
more discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Cash flow statement.
Okay, this took me a little work this year because we did have bonding in there, and I always take the bond amounts out. But a lot of our AP and our revenue came from our bonding. So I really had to go through and really remove that so you could actually see what was going on. But removing our bonds here in July, it looks like I'm projecting all funds at 1.4 million. And the general fund ending balance at 867 right now, estimate. Or 867,000, sorry.
And of course, it's our objective to keep that close to $1 million, and that's where, we do want to be there. So Lori will start tightening those purse strings just a little bit more.
I make a motion to approve the cash flow statement.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent items.
Okay, of course, your board minutes, your claims, food service contract with Gateway, that's providing food services for those the preschool kids. The technology activity report, pretty standard operating procedure, school security funds request. We have incorporated a pandemic procedure that was recommended by our board attorney. They've looked at this as well as KSBA, meets the requirements also set forth by the Kentucky Public Health as well as the local health department. Everyone's had an eye on this and something that we feel very comfortable with and has been useful over the past few days. Emergency paid sick leave. That's a COVID-19 policy that we need to incorporate. Substitute employee handbooks. This is a recommendations from KSBA. Title IX sexual harassment post change. That is through the previous legislative session as well as the policies and procedures of KSBA. Clinical partnership with Morehead State that will allow student teachers, once we do get back in session, to work with our teachers to come and do an observations with our staff members. And do want to stress that we're very proud of our staff members and our schools of getting this partnership back. It is one that we've not been doing in the past, and we're very appreciative of providing that services to Morehead State and their students. Emergency crisis response plan. This is an update from the previous year. Memorandum of agreement with Kentucky Christian. We're working with an educator program for dual credit that will allow us to start working with kids that are interested in the field of education. They can actually get dual credit through Kentucky Christian. Non-resident agreement applications with Clark, Montgomery, Wolfe, and Morgan County. Those are pretty much any and all. Boys basketball booster agreement. This is part of the audit reports of getting our boosters club and getting agreement in place with the boys basketball. One thing, of course, and I know we have 17 people that are currently watching on Facebook. Of course, we are aware of the governor's announcement, I guess a couple weeks ago. We were originally scheduled to start in-person classes, and we'd given our parents a choice to start the 24th, either in person or virtually. The governor then came back with a recommendation. And after that recommendation and looking through our insurance policies and kind of some of the stipulations that went along with those recommendations, we met as a district team, met with our principals, and we felt that it was best for us to start the year virtually, which would start on August the 26th and would conclude on September the 23rd, which would give us 23 days of virtual learning for our students. It will be much different than last year. There will be no paper pencil assignments like there were last year. We'll actually have Google Classrooms, we'll have Zoom classrooms, and we've purchased a program called Schools PLP. And we are working with that in conjunction with Lewis County Schools, Clark County Schools, Montgomery County Schools, Round County Schools, and Fleming County Schools, to where we'll all have the same virtual learning platform for our students. So this will be something new. Our staff have went through extensive training this past week, and we feel like that we're ready to start the year virtually. We've did Chromebook distributions. I think Mr. Vice, and I know our principals are not on with us, but I think the last count I had is we've distributed between 500 and 600 Chromebooks already. Some students did not require access and want a Chromebook due to the fact that they'll be utilizing the device that they already had at home. We are also working with community access points with Mountain Telephone. We currently have 7, and I guess now it will be 8 community access points. We're working with one at Big Woods Church, Korea Church, Pomeroy Store, Project Worth. Bethel Baptist is also coming on board with one. The farmers market is through Mountain Telephone, and of course Botts Elementary and the high school and elementary complex. Kelly, did I leave any off? Okay, so those will be community access points. Parents can go there with the Chromebooks that have been issued, and they would be able to be granted access. It'll be between the hours of 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. And we will be publicizing that. We've already put it on Facebook, and we'll let the community know when those are up and running. We've also been working with Mountain Telephone of trying to get more people connected. And Mr. Vice and Ms. Pelfrey and Ms. Blackburn have been working hand in hand trying to get that up and going for our students. So we will be updating as that goes through. And just wanted to let you know that even though we know virtual is not our best option, we'd like to have our kids back in session, but it's really hard to make a recommendation to go against the governor's recommendation right now. Also, we do have one more Rudy's Ranch out in the Sudeth area. Tartarus Church also out on Route 77. So we've tried to, and I guess there's more than 7 now. I didn't include the schools and the farmers market. So a lot of community access points out there, and also working on getting Wi-Fi to the homes of our students that do not have access. But the staff members, we feel like that we're ready to go with this, and we want this to be the best possible learning experience that we can make for our kids. Also, we were granted this past week an opportunity to start having kids come in, our targeted students, and we'll be making arrangements for them. We can bring in groups of less than 10, and we can do that bring them in for 2 hours a day. So we will be doing that after probably the first 8 days of virtual, and kids, especially with our kindergarten kids, are looking at our Brigance screening and those kids that we know that really are targeted and that we need to keep them on task, especially if they're struggling with getting internet connections and things of that nature. Next item is amending the school calendar. Of course, will be the first day of school will be the 26th. And I think we just added 2 days on to the end of the school year. The annual security report, report that is required through, I believe this is through Kelly Vice, providing security with our technology system. Cost of transportation for our buses, it's $1.70 per mile if we do field trips. And of course, field trips are probably going to be a while off before we're doing field trips. So, but that has to be approved by the board. Emergency certification for teachers, that would be for emergency substitute. Closeout form for the MCHS vestibule. This will be a BG5, and that will actually close out the first phase of that project as we were getting the second phase of the bleacher installation and of also getting that into the office complex. So, but that will close out the first phase of that. Student code of conduct, approving the code of conduct book for the upcoming year. A petition for early entrance for kindergarten. We've got a student that is wanting to enter kindergarten early this year, and that does meet the statutory requirement and would be a recommendation of the parent. And they also meet the requirements that are part of our board policy. And we are looking at the job title at the high school of the school administrative manager, of changing that title to assistant principal. Will not be any more money to the board, but we'll just be changing that to a assistant principal instead of Sam. And the person in that position currently does have principal certification. And those are your consent agenda items.
Any questions or discussion?
I move
No.
the approve the consent items.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries. Next item of business is select board member facility planning committee. If there's no objections to that, I'm gonna go ahead and volunteer.
And what we do with this is every 4 years, we do have to have a facilities planning committee meeting, and the board members do have to select a representative. So I will leave that up for board discussion. I think chairman, of course, it's his meeting. It's I think he would like to be on it, but I guess it would be the other 3 board members. However you want to handle that.
So you wanted to be on it?
Yeah, I'd like to be on it.
I move that we select Chairman Spencer as our representative for the district facility planning committee.
Second.
I'll second it.
I think Brenda's on about a 3-second delay, but that's whoever you want to go with there, Chairman. But it sounds like I don't think you had to fight too hard for that.
Okay.
I decided if nobody wanted, I was going to volunteer, but he volunteered. I won't fight him, you know.
Okay. And we will keep you all up to date, and we will have your input on those things. It's not just, if you have concerns with the facilities plan, you can go through your board representative, and you can also talk to me.
I would like to see it as it goes along. Sorry, Greg. I'd like to see it as it goes along just because I'm curious.
Well, it's a public meeting. You're welcome to come to all the district facility planning.
Yeah, they're all public meetings, Matt, so anyone can come.
Go ahead, Greg. Sorry, I won't cut you off again.
No, the question discussion proceed. Anything else? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. I didn't hear everybody there.
Sorry.
Brenda, is Brenda still with us?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I assume you voted aye then, is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, Greg. You're our representative.
Thank you.
A lot of arm twisting there, looked like.
Yeah, next item is adopt a resolution authorizing the Menifee County School District Finance Corporation to issue revenue refunding bonds.
Okay.
Do we need to read that resolution?
Yeah, you will.
All right.
It is right. Well,
I've got it up. You want me to read it?
it's right there if you want to read it too.
You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Resolution of the Board of Education of Menifee County School District, Frenchburg, Kentucky, authorizing and approving the refunding of certain outstanding Menifee County School District Finance Corporation School Building Revenue Bonds, Series 2011. Approving the plan of refunding the Series 2011 bonds, authorizing the execution of a contract, lease, and option with the Menifee County School District Finance Corporation, approving the execution of continuing disclosure procedures and any other further necessary instruments.
What this will do, of course, this is the gym that was financed in 2000, or the high school renovation project. This was probably about a $10 or $11 million project. We're halfway through. Our bonding company at Ross Sinclair, we are now able to rebond, and with a savings over the next 10 years of $307,000 and kind of an annual savings averaging around $29,000. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It's kind of like refinancing your house when the rates go down, and we're at an opportunity where we can do that. And once again, it's about a $28,000 savings that we can put in. I guess that would go into the construction fund, Lori, or general fund?
It stays in your nickel fund.
Yes.
In your debt. It won't be transferred from your capital outlay in your nickel.
It will just give you more bonding capacity on
Right.
down the road.
I move that we approve and adopt the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the resolution, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There you go.
I think I heard everybody. Motion carries.
Okay, let's make sure. Brenda, you, all four ayes, Rebecca and Lori?
Yes.
Okay.
Approve the compensating rate for 2020 tax rates of 53.7 real estate and 53.7 tangible.
Okay. When you start looking at the tax rates for Menifee County, you're kind of given three options, of course, with real estate and personal property. Three options that you have is you can go with the compensating rate, and basically the compensating rate is for the district to bring in basically the same amount of money that they brought in the previous year. The tax rate would be 53.7, and then due to exonerations, you could add 0.6 onto that, so you could go to 54.3. Over the course of the last, I guess in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, the rate was right around 53.7. So the board has kind of held firm and true, even though we did a nickel tax that was approved in January of 2017, the tax rates have remained stable over the course of the past, I guess this will be the fourth year of that. The board could then also look at a 4% increase. That rate, Lori, if you'll scoot it over just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how to scoot it. Oh, now I got to scoot it.
4% rate, and now I'm still
55.8.
okay. I can't. Okay, I need to block my chat bot or who I'm seeing here. 4% rate would be 55.8 plus the 0.6 would take that rate to 56.4. That would be subject to a hearing, but no recall. And then, of course, the following, you could do the nickel tax or the subsection 1, and that rate would be 6.1 added on to 53.7, and that would be a total of 59.9. 59.8 would be that rate. And of course, that would be subject to a hearing as well as a recall. So those are kind of your three options. You see the money that would be generated upon that. And
I would like it to see us take the 4%. It's cumulatively about $50,000 a year, and that's not a lot of increase. It's something over. And we all know, historically, other than a few, windfalls, we had the SFCC money for our school and the tobacco settlement for things in years past, and we've always been kind of underfunded. And while it's not a popular stance, I understand that. I think it behooves us. We've been kind of standing pat for the last 4 years, I think Tim said. But if we could take this 4%, have a hearing, it's not subject to recall. We can take kind of an unpopular step, but kind of help set us up going forward. It's $50,000 a year is not a lot, but cumulatively, over the life of taxes in the next 50 years, it's a lot of money. We can help prepare the future, and pay for things on our own instead of relying on SFCC, relying on tobacco settlement. We can, self-fund in that way a little bit. So my thought is the 4%.
I would agree with that if it was any other year. But with the unemployment what it is, and now the rest of the county has raised their rates, and those kids are not getting the full benefit with the COVID and all that.
Right, but both of them are increases. Our compensating rates an increase. It's less, admittedly, but they're both an increase in rate. And the 4%, $50,000 a year. That's with 6,000 people. That's
We're type of that with.
that's
Lori, what was the rate last year?
53.9. It decreased 0.2 cents.
I was off.
And this 4% increase is about 44,000. You get about 90% of that, which is around 30,000. That's pretty close to what you save by refinancing this debt.
Right.
So with 6,000 people, that's $5,000 a person per year on average. So I understand Greg's position, and it's a valid position, but we've been standing pat in the standard position of Menifee County school boards and most school boards, admittedly, and I understand why. It's kind of to not take this unless you have to, but I like to see us kind of be ahead of the curve instead of behind it. And Greg's not wrong. It's an uncomfortable year. This is never a comfortable decision. It's never popular to increase taxes for anybody, but again, I'll demur.
I have to say I agree with Greg. I think that this is just this year. I think it's not the best year to make a move, and right now, we've got our big investment project going, and I think we can see where our expected expenditures and savings are going to be in 2021, and that 2021 is the time to go ahead and make a move to pursue additional money. I don't think pursuing an extra $50,000 this year is worth the suffering that I see kind of going on in our smaller communities. A lot of people have not just decreased income, but increased expenses, and they are caring for kids at home. And even with feeding programs and things like that, there's just increased expenses with keeping kids home. And those are our students, and then their parents that we're asking to pay additional amounts. So
I guess my thought is that the impact per family for the gain we're going to get forever is small. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I understand we're all, experiencing.
The impact is really just this year we're talking about. We're not talking about the impact forever. We're talking about the impact for just 1 year. I think. If we were investing that money and that money was building interest after we accrued it this year, maybe we would be talking about an impact forever. But right now,
but it does that builds into our base, and next year that 4% is always there. So it accrues next year because we get that 4% next year also, and we get it every year thereafter. So the sooner we take it, it's there every year. If we don't take it, it's lost every year. I agree, and we can vote and have our thing. That's just my thoughts. I would take it every year if we could. We can. If it's up to me, I would take it every year.
Well, like I said, if it was any other year, I would for it, but I just don't have a good gut feeling about it this year.
And I would have, in any other year, I probably would have agreed with you. I thought that this was probably in my mind, this was the year we would begin to, we've done what we've been asked to do with our nickel tax by building the new school. And so I was like, yep, it's time, and now I'm like, nope, it's not time.
I'll make a motion motion to approve the compensating rate for 2020 tax rate of 53.7 real estate and 53.7 tangible.
Can we vote on the other one and shoot it down? That just for my good conscience.
You got to make the motion.
I move we take the 4% increase. If I get no second, that'll be okay.
Sean?
Yes.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Can you give us some parliamentary procedure guidance here? I think there's two motions on the floor.
If there's two motions on the floor, you have to handle them. I think you have to vote.
I'll withdraw mine.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, you're gonna have to handle one at a time, and if the other one is successful, then Matt's would essentially be moved. So
It's
if he's
moot.
withdrawn-
It's a moot point.
okay.
I just
Sorry.
want to be on the record, but it don't matter.
Yeah, the minutes will reflect his
The
position.
voting record.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the compensating rate for 2020 tax rates of 53.7 real estate and 53.7 tangible.
Greg, let me, on your motion, you probably want to include the 0.6 for the exonerations. That's a recommendation.
Okay, it's not on here.
It's down at the, Lori, I can't move it.
What are you trying to move?
Where you can do the 0.6 additional.
Right, it's 0.6 cents may be added to the above property taxes to recover prior year losses due to exonerations. So approve this plus the 0.6 cents for exonerations.
So Sean, you'll have to help us with parliamentary procedure here.
Okay.
So right now, the motion on the floor, from my understanding, is 53.7 compensating rate without the exonerations.
Okay. That's the motion on the floor. Do you have
Yes.
a second?
We have a
Yes.
second by Julia.
Well, you got it. How many board
So
members?
we'll
we
have
got?
to amend the motion then to add the
Huh?
exoneration to 0.6. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can amend the motion. That's, I mean, if it's not. As long as they go through the motion process, it's fine.
Yeah. So you need to amend the motion if you want to include the exoneration.
What was it, 0.6?
Yes.
See,
Which
I
would
make-
make your rate 54.3.
Okay, I would like to amend I would like to amend the motion of approving the compensating rate for 2020 tax rates of 53.7 real estate and 53.7 tangible with the 0.06 cents. Is that correct?
Added for exonerations.
For exonerations. Do I need another second to amend the motion?
You'll
I
need a
think so.
second on the amendment.
I'll
'Cause I
second.
mean, it's essentially another motion.
Yes.
All those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Motion as amended, would that be
Yeah,
correct?
you need to state the motion as amended.
All those in favor of approving the motion as amended signify by saying aye.
Sorry.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, sorry, I'm going back. Okay, here's your designers.
We good?
Yep, I'm getting the next one up.
Okay, personnel notification.
Okay, I'd like to mention reflect the hiring of Tammy Blevins as the Employment Career Navigation Specialist. That was through our Gear Up funds. Brittany Riddell as assistant volleyball coach, and Stephanie Rhodes as assistant girls soccer coach. Also mentioned reflect the hiring of Hope Terrell, second grade teacher, and Shannon Patrick, first grade teacher, and resignation of Gabby Meadows. And also we will have a retirement to be announced at the September meeting. And that's the reason for the two additional hires at Menifee Elementary.
Monthly community report.
Greg, and I've already stated this, is community has been very supportive, very appreciative of the work that's been done. And we don't have a report, but we've had several items donated through CAP, and Dr. Casisa's office provided, I think, over 50 physicals for our students for athletic participation. So really a lot of good community support going on into the district during this time.
Principal update and instructional support.
Okay, Lori, would you click on those?
Yeah.
Okay, of course, I'll
Sorry.
read this for just our community out there. Is high school staff work this week processing student packets beginning of the school year, as well as Chromebooks to almost 200 students. Currently, the enrollment at the high school is just a little bit less than 300, which is about the same we ended last year. We'll also have another pickup on Monday, August 24th from 12 to 7. And also academic course offerings. We have 29 dual credit courses through the technical centers. Those classes actually began through Maysville Community College. Those began on Monday, the 17th. And we also have 28 dual credit students that will start on August the 26th. Those are phenomenal numbers, and very proud of those students for signing up for those courses and improving the rigor within our high school. Of the dual credit courses at the community college, a lot of those tie back into career pathways for students, especially in the nursing field and variety of those other things. So very pleased with that. 10 students enrolled in Morgan County ATC and 9 students enrolled in Montgomery County ATC. Those numbers are down just a little bit, and I anticipate second semester when we're back in person learning that those numbers will go up some as we proceed. It's really difficult at the ATC to do a lot of the labs and especially a welding lab without actually being into the welding shop. So, but we'll be working on getting those numbers increased, especially for second semester. One of the things that we're very proud of is students at the high school of the pathways. We have 90 students that are on a pathway in agriculture, 97 in allied health. As you remember, we just started that program last year, and we saw a need in the community. We're having trouble of filling CNA positions up at the nursing home and a variety of other health fields. So pleased that we have 97 students in those, and the work that Miss Manley's done and the high school staff, very appreciative of that. 78 seats in the business pathway, and right now we have 8 seats in the education pathway, and that is 6 with potentially due credit through Kentucky Christian. And that helps us in starting recruiting teachers in the near future. So kind of gives us some potential Menifee Countyans that could potentially come back and be educators in the district. And number that is just phenomenal for Menifee County. You remember enrollment of around 300, 98 students are signed up for advanced placement courses. Now remember, when I say students, I guess I should have said seats, just due to the fact that some of those students were enrolled in more than one AP course. But to have 98 AP courses offered at a small high school, that is phenomenal. So want to commend Ms. Schwartz, commend Mr. Haney, Mrs. Lewis, and that staff, and also the board. You all have made a lot of funding opportunities available to the high school. Mr. Cooper, with your initiative of getting the 10th graders doing the ACT scores went up almost 2.4. Ms. Manis, you've kept pushing the ACT and the advanced placement, and the entire board, Chairman Spencer and Ms. Smith and Ms. Evans, work you all are doing is phenomenal in providing opportunities for our kids. So thank you for that.
Could we next month have not just the seat numbers, but the actual number of students impacted, whether it's for 1 or 2 classes?
Yes, Ms. Spencer, if you'd make a note and leave that on my desk, I'll make a note of that for Ms. Schwartz tomorrow.
Thank
And
you.
I'll probably share that information with you prior to the next month's meeting. Did Ms. Spencer get that for me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for the high school? Okay. If you'll bring me the Botts Elementary and Menifee Elementary update.
I'm going.
Ms. Means just completed hiring all of our staff yesterday, as well as going through new teacher training. That was concluded today. want to commend Miss Brewer and Miss Blackburn, working, well, all the district directors and everyone, finance, community ed, of everyone working together, make sure that all of our teachers have received all of the appropriate beginning of the school year training. That was concluded today. They've done a fabulous job with that. Save the Children 21st Century grants. We've received guidelines on how to meet the requirements, and a lot of that not by choice, but we'll have to be doing that virtually at least for a little while, and then hopefully we can get back to some in-class opportunities. Classrooms are prepared for social distancing. We'll be providing some videos of that. I want to, once again, I've already commended the custodial staff and all the administration, but we've got all of our classrooms at Menifee Elementary and the high school. When we did our first surveys on the in-class, we looked at around 50% of our students coming back, and we made preparations for the social distancing. So we're ready as soon as we're given the green light and we feel it's safe, and the numbers of positivity are down in Menifee County to where we're in the green category. I do have, I would feel very comfortable making a recommendation that the board to go to in-class learning opportunities as soon as we are given the green light to do so. So that may be sooner than later. And as we see what's happening with other districts that have kind of went against the governor's orders, we're also seeing some of those schools that are actually closing again. So we'll see where that may take us in the near future. But we want to get back to in-person classes as soon as we possibly can. Ms. Means, I've told you 350 students, so that puts that number between 550 and 600 for both the schools. And so they picked up Chromebook, schedule, supplies. Want to really congratulate commend Miss Ingram and Miss Stone. They went above and beyond to organize information to make sure everything went as smoothly as possible. I think there was a few days that maybe we had the road, that we had a little bit of a roadblock, but I think we've moved everything on down, and I don't think there's been any issues since then. All K-8 teachers have worked hard to learn our new online platform, as well as virtual learning classrooms. And we're excited about opening those. And we feel like that it will be much better than what we had last spring for our students and parents and our staff. So we're looking forward to it, and we want to get our kids in as soon as we possibly can.
Thank you. SBDM minutes, anybody got any questions or anything on that? KSBA 2020 regional chairperson elections.
If anyone is interested in that, of applying for any of those, get with Miss Rebecca Spencer at the board office, and we'll be more than happy to help you if you were interested in one of those. So
In which region are we?
We're
are
East Kentucky North.
Yeah, we're in the north.
Thank you.
I don't think our region's up for election.
I don't think it is, Matt, at this time.
2020 virtual fall region.
Fall regional meeting, save the date, and I think that will be for the East Kentucky North, will be November the 5th, and that will be at Boyd County this year.
Nothing else.
Keep that date on your, and right now I think that's probably virtual, but we'll let you know.
There's nothing else. We're down to communication and sharing. We're getting.
Let me check messages here. No comments from Mr. Vice, and I've been getting a daily report from the Menifee County Gateway area, and pleased to announce that Menifee County had no new cases today. So I think we're still around 32 cases, and we hope to keep that number right in that area, hopefully no more. So anyway, appreciate everyone, and that's just want to commend everyone, and hopefully next week as we start school, that we'll start off and everything will go as smoothly as we possibly can. And appreciate your all's work, and appreciate all the district staff's work and school personnel. I just can't appreciate everyone enough.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank
No
you.
comments on Facebook. We have no comments.
Nothing else. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Everybody have a good evening.
Whoa, 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 we've got another meeting.
Oh, we got to find